Okay, so good afternoon to all IEM and UEM family members. Hello and welcome. And we are sure we are audible and visible. Alongside me, you can see Dr. Vishwajit Khan today. And his topic is hydraulic and gas flow characteristics of unsaturated geosynthetic clay liners under various geoenvironmental conditions. Well, you can understand from the topic, he's from the Department of Civil Engineering. And another thing that I will definitely mention, the topic seems to be very interesting. I'm sure that we will get to understand each and individual term that you have mentioned over here. So thank you. We can take over from here. Today we don't have any foreign talk. So I will request again all members to kindly interact in the questions box. If you want to ask any question directly, orally, if you feel that writing it is becoming difficult, you want to interact orally, then you can kindly raise your hands through the app. I will unmute you so that you can also ask a question directly if needed. And also I will request all of you to kindly answer the poll at the middle or at the end whenever it appears. Kindly answer the polls so that the session remains interactive, and it's not that we are forced to listen to a webinar every day. Let us interact and try to enhance our knowledge. And all department professors have got an opportunity through these webinars, through this afternoon sessions and the morning sessions, to get to know about one another's topic and to enhance our knowledge. Thank you, Dr. Vishwajit. It's all over to you from here. Kindly take over.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I am very thankful to the institutes to giving this opportunity. So I am here to speak a presentation talk on hydraulic and gas flow characteristics of unsaturated geosynthetic clay liners under various geoenvironmental conditions. So this is the overview of my presentation. First, I will discuss the introduction part. That after that, I will go into a literature review, then objective, then materials and methods, then results and conclusion discussion, and finally, I will discuss the conclusion parts. So come to the introduction part. Landfilling is the simplest and most economical method to dispose the municipal solid waste that is generated in our society, in our earth. So this figure shows the diagram of the landfill, and generally the MSW is dumped in this landfill, and there is a and it is covered by a cover system. So the main function of the cover system is to reduce the infiltration of rainwater into the into the landfill, so that the generation of leachate can be minimized. And the another function is it will stop the migration of harmful gases that is produced during the due to the decomposition of organic matter into the atmosphere. So this figure shows a typical diagram of cover system. The primary component of the cover system is the barrier liner. This is the barrier liner, which is also known as hydraulic barrier. It is very important because it depicts the overall efficiency of the cover system. Generally, in earlier days, this barrier is made of low permeability materials. For example, compacted clay liners, sand bentonite liner, or combination of these materials. So in this study, I have chosen a material that is known as geosynthetic clay liner. So basically, it is a thin layer of bentonite supported by geotextile and geomembrane and held together as a needle punching or stitch bonding, as shown in this figure. And this GCL is generally comes in the form of roll, having a length of 35 to 60 meter and width generally 4 to 5 meter. So this figure shows the application of GCL in actual field condition. And this GCL is used as an alternative to conventional barrier liner. So, GCL is used due to its better hydraulic performance using installation, better hydraulic, better self-healing property, and it has a good distortion capacity. So this table shows the advantages and disadvantages of GCL. Like it has a very low cost, then it's a very hydraulic, very low hydraulic permeability, and it's the placement in actual field is very fast. And while the coming to the disadvantages, it has very weak strength, and it also subjected to ion exchange. So GCL in field, it is generally hydrated or dehydrated after installation and during service period due to various environmental conditions like water content of foundation soil, temperature, and rainfall within the landfill area. So the ability of GCL to perform better hydraulic performance can be studied while using water contents, and this is studied using water retention curve. So I will explain what is the water retention curve in the coming slides. Then come to the second introduction part. For effective functioning of cover system, hydraulic and gas flow characteristics of GCL need to be investigated thoroughly. So gas flow, generally the gas flow characteristics is divided into two components. One is the advection and the other is the diffusion. So also the cover system is subjected to non-uniform settlements. This is due to the decomposition of heterogeneous material, and also it is subjected to climatic change condition due to the change of rainfall and temperature within our surroundings. So this leads to the desiccation of GCL, which results the fluctuations in water flow or gas flow. So to understand the hydraulic and gas flow characteristics, this hydraulic and gas flow is need to be studied under distortion levels and wet dry conditions. So here I will mention one thing, that non-uniform settlements is simulated using distortion levels, while the climatic conditions is simulated using wet dry cycles. So coming to the objectives, so the first objective is the measurement of water retention curve using filter paper method, vapor equilibrium technique, and dew point potentiometer. Then a custom designed test apparatus has been developed for the measurement of gas flow characteristics under various distortion levels. Then next, the hydraulic flow characteristics under various solutions and wet dry cycles is studied using a flexible wall permeameter. Then the next is the gas flow characteristics under various hydration solutions, wet dry cycles, and distortion levels can be is studied. And finally, the hydraulic and gas flow performance of cover system under a real field climatic conditions is studied using finite element analysis. So in today's presentation, I will discuss two of the these topics, because these topics some of papers are under review, so I will not disclose all. If I getting a chance in later, I will discuss all those remaining three. So come to the literature review of water retention curve. So basically, water retention curve is a relationship between suction and its corresponding water content. So this figure shows the typical diagram of water retention curve of GCL. Basically, it is consist of three zones. Saturation zone is from minimum suction to air entry value with a slope S1, while transition zone is from air entry value to residual zone with a slope S2, while the residual zone is consist from a residual suction to the maximum available suction with slope S3. Water retention curve is important because it predicts the engineering behavior of unsaturated soils or GCLs, mainly the hydraulic and mechanical properties. So WRC has few significant parameters like uh, air, air entry value, residual suction, saturated water content, and this is water content corresponding to air entry value, and this is water content corresponding to residual suction. So these parameters actually signifies the characteristics of WRC, and it affects the hydraulic and mechanical properties of GCL. So the main objective to find out these significant parameters can be studied accurately. So, so this figure shows the suction range of GCL measured by various methods, while some has measured the metric suction, while few has measured the total suctions. So it is noticed from this figure that the suction of GCL is a wide range. It covers a wide range from 1 kPa to 10 to power 6 kPa. It is also noticed that no method is capable to measure the entire suction range. So this made the researcher to combine more than one methods to obtain a complete range suction. So come to the literature review of WRC of GCL. So Boroso et al. In 2006, they studied the suitability of filter paper method to measure the suction. They observed that the position of GCL does not affect the suction measurement when the water content is varies from 10% to 115%. They also observed that the suction is due to the whole GCL and it is not due to only geotextile in contact with bentonite. Similarly, Benur et al. In 2014, they studied the effect of stresses on wetting paths for WRC. They found out that with the increase of stress, the GCL takes less and faster water. So then in 2016, Roff et al. Studied the hydration behavior of GCL using various supersaturated salt solutions. They observed that relative humidity and applied stress has a key role in hydration behavior. They also found out that the form of bentonite and mineralogy had a major role in hydration behavior. So similarly, in 2018, Lu et al. Studied the effect of water salinity on wetting WRC at constant volume condition. They observed that the effect of water has a significant role for obtaining total suction. So then come to the literature review on the second part, that is the gas flow characteristics of GCL. So in unsaturated GCL, unsaturated GCL consists of both air and water within the pore structure of the bentonite. So the flow through GCL is governed by both water and air. So generally the air flow through GCL is governed by two mechanisms. That is, first one is the advection and second one is the diffusion. So advection process is dominant when the apparent degree of saturation is less than 85. while the diffusion is dominant when the apparent degree of saturation is more than 85. So coming to the advective diffusion, so in advective diffusion, gas transfers due to the gradient in total pressure. So for that, a gas travels from a region of high pressure to low pressure region. While in diffusive flow, the gas molecules move due to partial pressure gradient or concentration gradient of gas. It generally occurs from a high concentration region to low concentration region. So this is the literature review on gas flow characteristics of GCL. So in 2003, Bozwan and Bang-Paijal studied the gas flow test of GCL using steady state method, and they observed that water content and hydration process has a significant effect on gas permeability. So similar, so in 2010, Mendes et al. And in 2011, Pitanga et al. They conducted gas permeability test of GCL, gas permeability on GCL using a transient method. They also observed that intrinsic permeability was decreased as the water content of the GCL increased. So this is the again latest review on GCL. I'm skipping that. Okay, so come to the main experimental part. So in this study, two types of GCL were used. GCL1 is a geotextile type GCL, while GCL2 is a geomembrane type GCL. So this table shows the basic properties of bentonite core of both GCL, like liquid limit, plastic limit, specific gravity, and the natural water content of bentonite for the GCL1 is 12%, while for GCL2 it is 14%. So generally this range is from 8% to 20%, and the swelling index, cation exchange capacity, specific surface area of both bentonite component GCL is near to same, because both the GCL has the same form of bentonite that is granular in nature. And so this table shows the properties of intact GCL. Like this is the carrier geotextile, and this is the nature of carrier geotextile and cover geotextile nature of bentonite, like sodium granular, then type of bonding, needle punching. So this is the mass per unit area. So the mass per unit area of GCL1 is 5.28 kg per meter square, while for GCL2 is 5.37 kg per meter square. So the thickness of both GCL is determined using this apparatus, and it is found to be 6.74 for GCL1, while for GCL2 7.82. The hydraulic conductivity of GCL1 is in the order of -11, while for GCL2 it is in the order of -12. So coming to the water retention curve, as I said in the previous slide, that it is the relation between water content and its corresponding suction. So in the present study, the water retention curve is determined using three methods: filter paper methods, dew points, and vapor equilibrium techniques. So in filter paper method, two types of methods is used. One is the contact filter paper method, and while the second is the non-contact paper method. So actually in contact filter paper method, first of all, two GCL samples of same water content were prepared, and a assembly of three filter papers of Whatman filter papers is sandwiched between two specimens as shown in this figure for the measurement of matrix section in contact filter paper method. So after that, the specimen and filter paper is warped into a plastic film to avoid the loss of moisture, and after that the specimen and filter paper is packed in a airtight container for 7 days to achieve the moisture equilibrium between filter paper and specimen. After the equilibrium period, the water content of the filter paper is measured, and from the water content of the filter paper, the suction of a specimen is obtained using various calibration curves. So this part shows the measurement of matrix section using contact filter paper method, while in non-contact filter paper method, a oven dried Whatman number 42 filter paper is placed above a specimen separated by a plastic O-rings. So this is the plastic O-rings. So, and this setup is packed in airtight condition for 7 days. After 7 days, again the water content of this filter paper is measured. From that, the suction of the specimen is observed using various calibration curves. So this figure shows the both metric both contact and non-contact methods. So come to the dew point potentiometer method. So in this method, a specimen of various water content is prepared, and the specimen was mounted on in the apparatus and set for the reading. After equilibrium, the total suction is obtained from the display unit. So then coming to the vapor equilibrium technique. So in this process, various supersaturated salt solution was selected to represent relative humidity from 0 to 100%. And in this case, the specimen was placed on a hanging platform over a supersaturated salt solution as shown in this figure, and the test was conducted using under free swell and 20 kPa stress condition. After that, the vacuum desiccator was sealed for almost 1 month to achieve moisture equilibrium. So during moisture equilibrium, either the specimen will absorb the moisture from the solution, or the specimen will lose moisture to the solution. So this is the actual setup, and this is the schematic diagram of VUT. So this figure shows the test results of water retention curve obtained from contact filter paper method using various calibration curves like Van Ganuchan, Friedland, Jing, Leong et al. And ASTM. So in this figure, also the test results obtained from VET and WP4 is included. From this figure, it is noticed that the suction obtained from filter paper using various using calibration curves of VG, that is then FX and ASTM at higher suction is well agreement with the suctions obtained using VUT and WP4, while the suction obtained from Leong obtained from Friedland and Jing is deviating from the others. So here in this case, the validity of the 4 calibration curves is studied, and it is observed that Leong et al. And ASTM calibration curve is best suited for the measurement of total suction and best measurement for the matrix section. So this is the similar. This is the test results of filter paper of non-contact filter paper using by various methods. And from this figure, it is also observed that Leong et al. Is good for the measurement of total suction, while the ASTM is not well for the measurement of total suctions. So from the above two discussion, it is concluded that Leong et al. Is best suited for total metric and total suction. So this is the test results of WRC for the another material, that is the GCl2. So here is one important interesting results can be noticed, that the WRC of GCl1 and GCl2 is almost resemblance to each other. This is because the form of bentonite in both the GCl is same. That is the granular bentonite. So then the effectiveness of various fitting models can be studied by fitting the experimental data. So this is the experimental data obtained from filter paper method, wherein this is the data obtained from VT. So this experimental data can be fitted with various WRC models like VG model, then coming to Friedland and Jing model, next Farm and Friedland model, then and Gold et al. Model. So it is observed that PF and Gold et al. Model predicts fitted very well with the experimental data. This is due to that both last two models has a separate WRC equations, and it has more controlling parameters as compared to the VG and FX model. And it is also observed that the R square values of PF and Gold et al. Is more as compared to VG and FX. So this is the test results for GCl2. And so coming to the significant parameters of WRC, so the significant parameters of both GCLs is obtained using various WRC models. So it is observed that the air entry value and residual suction of both GCLs for PF and Gold et al. Model is good agreement with each other, and these parameters can be later used in the numerical modeling of related to the GCL. Then coming to the VT results, so this is the test results of absorption behavior of GCLs. So it is observed that the equilibrated water content increases with the time, and it is also one notice that the equilibrium water content increases as the relative humidity of the solution increases. So this is the solution for K2SO4 potassium sulfate solution, which is a higher relative humidity, high relative humidity, and this lower is the for the NaCl sodium chloride solution. And it is also noticed that the water content of a specimen under free swell condition is more as compared to under 20 kPa under a particular solution. So this is the absorption test results for GCl2. So one thing can be noticed, that the maximum water content achieved by GCl2 is less as compared to GCl1, because GCl2 has a single drainage and it has geomembrane in one side, while it has bore it has geotextile on both sides, so that's why it absorbs high water content as compared to GCl2. So coming to the desorption behavior, so these two solutions shows the desorption behavior, that is the potassium carbonate and lithium chloride having the relative humidity of 42.8 and relative humidity of 11%. So in this case, the specimen lose water content to the solution. So that's why the initially during the placement the water content is high, but with the time it decreases the water content and it reaches equilibrium. So in this case also the water content of specimen under free swell condition is more as compared to under 20 kPa stress condition. So this is the test result. This is the desorption test results for GCl2. So then coming to the conclusion part of water retention curve. Water retention curve of both GCl is obtained using three methods, that is filter paper method, dew point potentiometer, and vapor equilibrium technique. So the validity of various calibration curves for obtaining suction of GCl from filter paper method is established. From that study, it was observed that Leong et al. Calibration curve is best suited for both metric and total suction measurement. And the experimental data with fitted with various WRC models. From that study, it was observed that Farm and Friedland 2008 model and Gold et al. 2012 WRC model fits well to the experimental data and gives almost nearly identical significant parameters, and those parameters can be used in the numerical simulations. So then coming to the next objective, that is the measurement of gas permeability. So for that, a test apparatus has been designed in the laboratory to determine the gas flow characteristics under various distortion levels, settlement rates, and overburden pressures. And the gas flow characteristics is studied under advection and diffusive conditions. So the test apparatus consists of a test chamber, a worm gear screw jack system, oxygen sensor, pressure transducer. This is the data acquisition system, controller, nitrogen gas cylinder, piston. So the gas flow characteristics, that is the advection and diffusion. Advection is measured using the pressure transducer, while the diffusion is measured using oxygen sensor. The distortion level is induced in the apparatus using perforated triangular perforated plates and worm gear screw jack, while the overburden pressure was applied on the specimen using a piston. So this figure shows the graphical representation of test apparatus. So come to the working principle of the test apparatus. So this is the motor. So based on the motor and its direction of rotation, this screw jack rotates, and this will rotates when the screw jack rotates, the nut assembly will rotates, and it will and due to that the central plate moves either in vertical direction, in upward or downward, based on the direction of rotation of this motor. So the upper portion of lower chamber is consist of triangular perforated plates, as shown in this figure. The perforated plates are hinged at one end, while the other is placed on a central plate, and it has a perforation for the passage of oxygen or nitrogen gases. So through this experiment, the central displacement is defined as the vertical moment of central plate with respect to its initial position. So this delta is the central displacement. And there is another term that is known as distortion level, that is defined as delta by L. So where L is the distance from hinge position to the center of perforated plate. So this is the hinge position, and this is the center of plate. So then coming to the measurement of gas permeability. So first of all, a specific nitrogen gas is a nitrogen gas pressure is applied into the gas chamber of test apparatus by opening the valve V1, V2, V3, V4. When and this valve V5 is also closed. So when a particular level of gas, that is 5 kPa, is reached, the valve V2 and V1 is closed. So and the gas which is applied into this chamber is passed through the GCL specimen due to the pressure difference between this chamber and this chamber. So due to the passage of nitrogen, there is a decrease in nitrogen is observed with time. That is measured by pressure transducer as shown in this figure. So the intrinsic permeability is determined using these equations. So where V is the volume of this chamber, L is the thickness of GCL specimen, mu is the dynamic viscosity of the gas, S is the slope. I will explain later what is S. A is the cross-sectional area of the specimen, while P ATM is the atmospheric pressure. So here, so S is the linear slope of ln alpha versus time t. So where the alpha can be expressed using this equation. So where P naught is the absolute pressure at time t equal to 0, and Pt is the absolute pressure at any time t. So this curve is obtained using this experimental data. So coming to the measurement of diffusion. So after the completion of advection, the diffusion measurement is initiated. For that, first of all, whatever the oxygen present in the bottom this chamber was flushed out using nitrogen gas. So by opening the valve V1, V2, V4, V5, in that case valve V3 was closed. So when the flushing was done, the oxygen after that the nitrogen was cut off by closing the valve V4 and V5. After that, the oxygen is diffused from atmosphere to the lower chamber, because there is a concentration gradient of oxygen between both the chambers. So this chamber is exposed to the atmosphere, and this chamber has almost near equal to 0 oxygen concentration we created by applying the nitrogen gas. So there is a increase of oxygen gas is occurred in this chamber, which is measured by oxygen transducer. So this is the oxygen sensor, and the increase of oxygen concentration with time is measured and shown in this graph. So almost initially it was 0, and after time it will almost reaches equilibrium. So then the gas that is the dp, which is the diffusion coefficient, can be calculated using Fick's second law. So the analytical solution of relative concentration in lower chamber can be obtained by using boundary conditions of this apparatus and using these equations. So the final solution is come out to be like this. This is given by Kalslow and Jesselberg in 1959. So here from this experimental data, the slope of the ln CR versus time is plotted. So where the ln CR is this quantity, and so the slope of this curve is the slope of this curve, which is this term. So so the slope again, the slope is obtained from this curve is this one, and the slope is also measured from this experimental data during the comparison. While equating, the diffusion coefficient can be obtained, where alpha is the first positive root of these equations. So this comes from the boundary conditions of this test apparatus. So come to the test results. First one is the effect of water content. So a reduction of four order of gas permeability is observed when the when the water content is increased from 7% to 80%. So this is in terms of water content, and this is in terms of suctions. So actually, in unsaturated soil mechanics, so water content is directly is related to suction. So this results is plotted in some other form. So so this is the test results of gas diffusion. So it observed that a decrease of 3 order is observed when the water content increases from 7% to 80% degree of saturation. So coming to the effects of various distortion levels. So in this study, distortion levels is taken from 0 to 0.169. This is the maximum distortion level that can induced in the apparatus. So this is the test results of advection. So in addition to GCL, we also test the gas behavior of CCL liner, and that is the pure bentonite liner. So it is observed that a 3 order of difference variation is observed during 0 distortion level and at distortion level 0.169, because at 0.169 distortion a crack is observed. So this will through which the gas moves very fast. So that's why a 3 order difference is observed. While in GCL there is no cracks is observed, so that's why there is no much variation between under distortion level 0 and 0.169 like. So this is the test results of diffusion. So in the case of diffusion, a 0.5 order is observed, while in advection almost 2.5 orders is observed. While for the other, the test results is the similar nature like the advective. Okay, so coming to the effects of distortion levels. So it is observed that the gas permeability is increases with the increase in distortion level. So this is for low water content, GCL1 for low water content. This is GCL1 for high water content, and this figure shows the low water content for GCL2. So it is also observed that the GCL2 has 2 order lesser gas permeability as compared to GCL1 at identical water content, because it has geomembrane in one side and which is very impermeable in nature. So coming to the, this is the gas diffusion test results. So again here a increase in gas diffusion coefficient is observed as the diffusion as the distortion level increases from 0 to 0.169 in both the cases. So the overall conclusion of the gas permeability part, so the gas flow characteristics of both GCLs at various water contents and distortion levels can be measured using custom designed test apparatus. Then next one, gas permeability and gas diffusion of GCL1 decreased by 4 order and 3 order when the water content increased from 7 to 80%. In permeability and diffusion, while at identical water content, the gas permeability and gas diffusion of GCL2 has 2 order lesser magnitude as compared to GCL1 because it has geomembrane on one side. And at identical water content, CCL has CCL, that is the compacted clay liner, has a higher gas permeability and gas diffusion as compared to GCL1. This is because the CCL is brittle in nature and a crack has observed during distortion, while GCL is not the crack is not observed in GCL because it has flexible material and it is a bonding type material. So these are the future scopes. So whatever I studied in my PhD, so most of the works is under so coming in water retention curve. The test is conducted under 0 kPa or a very low stress. Actually, this stress represents the stress condition of a landfill final cover. But in future it may be but in future the water retention curve of GCLs can be studied under very higher stress condition for bottom liner conditions. Also the gas flow characteristics of GCL was studied under various distortion levels that represents the uniform settlements. So in future the gas characteristics can be investigated on bursting conditions where the upward movement of the upward movement of the center plates can be used. So these are the references. So these are my publications from to that parts whatever I discussed today. So these are some national book chapters, and this one paper has been awarded by IGS for best paper award. So this is the certificate and memento given during 2019, and 2 papers are under correction mode, under corrections, and thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vishwajit. I will just very quickly shoot the polls that you gave me. So I will request all members to very quickly answer the poll because we are already above time. I have launched the poll. I will request you to quickly fill it up. I'm just waiting for the answers. So 32%, 34%, 35% voting continues. I can wait up to maybe 50 seconds. So I would request all members to vote quickly. Okay, so 45% votes have been done. Can I wait just maybe 10 more seconds quickly for the rest 5% votes to reach 50% at least? It's not increasing, so let us wait. Let us now stop it. 47% votes have been done, 48%. So let us close this. Okay, so poll results have been shared. I believe all of you can see where 66% agrees with your study and says that yes, your study simulates the actual hydraulic and gas flow behavior of cover system of municipal solid waste landfill, but the strongly agree part is lesser comparatively. So there is some, what should I say, some scope of interaction, I should say. So let me go through the questions very quickly. I can see only one question in the questions box till now, and that is from, no, two questions rather. So the first question is from Dr. Arnob Ghosh. Okay, he asks, is it possible to utilize porous nanostructures in GCL applications? Is it possible to utilize porous nanostructures in GCL applications?
Sir, actually, the porous, actually soil, whatever, when we deal the soil mechanics, so it is a porous structure. So generally, we considered that the structure is in two-phase system, like that, whether either fully the soil is saturated with water or it is in dry condition. But in actual conditions, the scenario is not exist. So basically it is a three-phase systems. So generally porous structures is possible.
Okay. Okay, so the other question is from Professor Tonoy Pramanik. So he is a professor of civil engineering or rather physics, I should say.
Okay.
So sir, is it possible to measure water retention curve below 0 kPa or under low stress?
Under?
Low stress.
Yeah, sir. Low stress. Yeah, we can able to measure the under very low stress. Means zero means when we are not using any kind of load, that is some kind of under free soil condition. That is, we assume that it is low, very low. But if we use 20 kPa or 40 kPa, that is assumed as it is within low load condition.
Okay, so I don't see any more questions in the questions box, but because I talked about the hand raising part, so let me see if anybody wants to ask you an oral question. If you have your hands raised and you don't want to ask an oral question, then kindly just remove that hand raise. So I'm just very quickly checking the hand raise. Yes, I find one or two. Just a minute, please. Okay, so Professor Arun Kumar Chatterjee, he has raised his hand. I have just unmuted you, sir. You can kindly unmute yourself and go ahead with your question.
Sir, more than a question, first of all, good afternoon to you and the speaker, Professor. Now, I have a suggestion. It's not a question. It's more of a suggestion.
Okay,
that
sir.
Personally, I found this very, very tough, to be very frank, because
Which one,
I belong to a complete. Personally, I found this presentation very, very tough to understand because I belong to a completely different field, and
yes,
it is a it is a reflection of a PhD work done by you. So my suggestion is, if the poll, instead of waiting for the end, if it can be pumped in between, maybe 2 or 3 questions, 2 or 3 polls. I do some courses where the questions are raised in between the lectures.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
that,
it's good to answer that. It's easy to
Yes, yes, it can
understand
be done.
because
yeah,
It's
it's
a
yeah,
good
yeah.
on a
suggestion.
very
It can be
small
done. So
part
from
of it.
tomorrow, I will request the presenters to kindly put in the polls in between, and that
Okay,
is a
okay.
better way to interact always. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that is
So
okay.
thank you, sir.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
I also
Thank
think that this is the nice suggestion, sir.
you. Okay. So I go ahead with any other hand raise if there. I will very quickly check if it is by mistake, I will request in the meantime to check. Professor Vishwadev Bandyopadhyay, you have raised your hands. I will be unmuting you, but in the meantime, if it is a wrong thing, if you have wrongly done that, you may kindly put down your hand. I'm unmuting you now. Okay, so I have unmuted you. If you want to ask a question, you can unmute yourself and go ahead. Okay, so I can see Professor Vishwadev Bandyopadhyay is not mindful because it shows that he is not concentrating. The software shows it is showing that he is not concentrating. So maybe it's a wrong hand raise. I will just check any other hand raise very quickly. Okay. Yeah, so Professor Shantanu Ghosh, I've just unmuted you. If you have any question, then you may kindly unmute yourself and go ahead. Professor Shantanu Ghosh. Okay, I'm not sure because Professor Shantanu Ghosh is also showing partially mindful. I'm not sure, so maybe he is also not concentrating on the lecture, and it is a wrong hand raise. Shaumodeep Ghosh. Professor Shaumodeep Ghosh, I have unmuted you. Your hand is raised. So if you want to really ask a question, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Professor Shaumodeep Ghosh. Okay, so you are also shown your okay, your percentage of concentration is high, so I'm not sure what is happening. Okay, so Professor Shobhik Shaha. Yes, Professor Shobhik Shaha. I have unmuted you. If you want to ask a question, you can unmute yourself and ask. Okay, so I believe these are all wrong hand raises and the concentration level is not that high. I request all professors to kindly concentrate in the lecture so that it becomes meaningful. Otherwise, there is no meaning of going for this afternoon sessions or morning sessions. Anyway, Sunita Agarwala, the last one maybe. I have unmuted you. If you want to ask a question, kindly unmute yourself and ask.
No, sir,
Yes.
I don't have any question, but actually, I heard that if you don't have any question, raise down the hair.
Yes.
That's why I have this down.
Okay.
That hand.
Okay. No problem.
Thank you.
But
A nice
it was,
presentation. Thank you, sir.
but the hand was raised. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
No problem. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So I don't think anybody else has got any question. So thank you, Dr. Vishwajit. I think you can scale down your presentation a little bit and present it on some other day so that everybody understands, because I believe today it was good. It was a good presentation, but good presentation for maybe a person from your background.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so okay, so but for others maybe it was a bit tough, on the tougher side. Okay, then thank you so much. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.